Welcome to the locker room.
Vince Papali, welcome to the locker room.
I can smell it already, Billy.
Von Hayes, welcome to the locker room with Billy Schwein.
Yeah, hey, Billy, how you doing out there?
Rich Gannon, welcome to the locker room, Rich.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be with you.
Great Bob McElwee, NFL referee.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Craig Berube. Craig, welcome to the locker room.
All right, thanks, Billy.
We have the real Pat Croce in the locker room.
What's off the bench, Coach?
And now here's your host, Billy Schwein.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the locker room with Billy Schwein, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver and mainland product, Dave Klemic, and our producer today, / co-host, Danny Ryan. Good morning there, Dave Klemic.
Caffeinated, activated, ready to go.
He's in the three-point stance. Danny and Ryan, how you doing?
Top of the morning, Billy.
Right on,
Dave,
fellas.
good morning. How we doing?
This is you guys is the first time you two guys been together.
Quite
in
some time.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, but I
All right.
respect this man. He's great, man. And he's
Showed up bright and early today.
Man.
when we throw down with some Philadelphia information and football, all sports, he's unbelievable. He's
And
like
both,
an
I gotta say,
encyclopedia.
both Danny and Nikki are they're an asset to the locker room.
100%.
Yeah, man. And by the way, wow, a lot of stuff. So the locker room crew, courtesy of PJ Corda, Mr. Negadelphia, he swings for the we were in a suite luxury suite last night with watching the Sixers game against the Grizzlies.
Yeah, thanks, Negadelphian.
Negadelphia
He
coming
came
through.
man.
And Nick Earnshaw's parents were there, filled in for you.
Yeah.
You couldn't show. You were
Jealous.
Andrew
I committed
Lee
to a
couldn't-
housewarming party a few months
you
ago.
needed to blow that off.
No.
We had a great time.
Come on, they're family friends. I would have never heard the end of it. But
It
listen,
was-
they lost last night at the end of the day. They're a bad product,
Well,
but I'm sure it was a great time.
And you know what? We were talking about this, Dave. It was a Saturday night. The place was packed.
Place is packed, and Shane Gillis was there.
Really?
He was
Shane
sitting on the
Gillis
court.
was right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That suite was. If you haven't been into a suite, it is
yeah.
really. I mean, we had free parking, valet parking.
Oh, it's awesome.
In the VIP section. You go up the escalator. You're right in. They cater everything: food, drinks. I mean, Maria was our waitress, our host, I guess. She was wonderful. Everybody was there. Your father-in-law was there.
Yeah,
they loved it, right?
Yep, we had some of PJ's employees were there.
Yeah.
His family. You know what? It was neat. I've been hanging with PJ for 15 years now.
Yeah.
That's like the only way I watch games is in the skybox. That's how he.
Well,
does
I got to
it.
tell you. So, Danny, by the second half, the Sixers started losing.
Yeah.
I don't think we were up in the area where there's a table and everything. We weren't even paying attention to the game. We were just talking.
We were just having a
We were
blast.
talking football. My brother Bobby and his son Cody were there, and they were talking about his athletic ability in football and things like that. What you're going to work with him on some things.
Yeah, we got some stuff to work on, Cody.
Yeah, but no, he doesn't. So here's the thing: he doesn't listen to his father. I
Yeah.
mean, my brother was all Colonial Conference in football. He was second team All Group 3 his junior year before he blew his knee out. He knows football.
Mm-hmm.
Kid doesn't.
That's how it is.
Doesn't want to listen to his dad.
Take advice
Don't
from
listen to
anybody
Dave
else.
Klemic. He
Well,
listened to Bobby Schwein.
I said to Bobby, if it was for kids listening to their parents, it wasn't for kids not listening to their parents, I wouldn't have a job. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
You're not
Bobby
complaining.
really is a good football. Football
Bobby-
acumen is very good.
Yes,
He's got
he
very
does.
good football IQ,
Yeah.
and he should listen. But
So
it's just
here's
how
the
it
thing
is.
about my brother. My brother was a coach in basketball. And one thing we learned growing up is, and you know this, Dave, fundamentals in sports. You gotta have the fundamentals in sports early on to build to build a foundation on how to play the right way. And today's game, there's a lot of coaches and a lot of in other words, they need people to coach, but they don't necessarily get the best people to coach. And my brother, when he coaches, he's emotional. He gets into it. He's not negative on people. He's strict. He wants it done the right way.
Right.
Today's you got to watch yourself when
You got to
coach that
watch
way.
it. But the people that can get away with it, that have found a way to kind of merge the old with the new, like Chuck Smith at Mainland.
Well, here's the thing. You said one of Vermeil's quotes. Players don't care what you know till you know that they care.
Okay.
And my brother cares about each and every one of the players that he has coached and coaches.
Perfectly said, because once you get a player bought in that you actually care about their development, you can push them hard. Now, if you just push them hard without establishing the care
right.
first,
First.
you're not going to get anything out of them. You're going to get exactly in what, any selfish thing that they can be, they will. They'll be unselfish if they know you care about them.
My brother's antics on the court, like when he was a basketball coach, people would laugh at him because he's emotional and everything like that. But the kids all knew that he cared,
Right.
and they knew that he was doing it for the best, for their betterment. You know what I mean? Well, but Cody's not listening to his dad.
Yeah, I mean,
not at all.
He probably sees the resumes and he sees NFL on one and he doesn't see
Yeah,
NFL on the other. He's like, all right, I'll listen to Klemic over here.
All right, now last night, so we all go to the Sixers game. It was a great night. The whole lot. Josh was there. Nick Earnshaw, Nikki's parents, PJ's partners and whatnot. Your father-in-law. The locker room. Only people from the locker room weren't there were you,
me and Andrew, right?
And Andrew. Everybody else was there. Okay, we had a nice picture. And after the game, how about the fireworks? Joel Embiid had a presser the other day, and he was ripping. He ripped into.
He was looking for Marcus Hayes, so Marcus Hayes
right.
wasn't at the press conference.
He wasn't at the press conference,
Yeah.
but he found him later on that night.
Yeah.
Where?
After the game, they had a well. And
In
by
the
the way,
locker room?
so Keith Pompey reported. And you can read the article.
Yeah, Keith Pompey originally broke the story saying that Joel Embiid had punched Marcus Hayes
Right.
in the locker room. That wasn't the case. He just shoved Marcus Hayes, which is still not acceptable. I mean, it should never come to putting your hands on somebody else. But if I'm going to be honest, and we kind of talked about this a little bit before the show, I'm on Embiid's side. I mean, you bring up somebody's dead brother, you bring up somebody's son in the lead of your article, it's going to lead to some fireworks. It's going to lead to an upset Joel Embiid.
Right.
And so essentially, here's what Marcus Hayes said in the original article. He's since
Now, this is Keith Pompey reporting it.
Keith Pompey broke the story.
Broke the story.
But this is
by
what
the way,
Marcus.
by the way, Keith just got. We just texted Keith Pompey. He's a reporter for the Inquirer.
Right.
He said he would come on, but he's just boarding a flight right now. We called him and we were going to get him on. He would have come on, but he's getting ready. He's literally boarding a flight.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
he wouldn't have been able to say too much anyways because the NBA is now investigating this. But the lead of Marcus Hayes' article originally was, Joel Embiid consistently points to the birth of his son Arthur as a major inflection point in his basketball career. He often says that he wants to be great to leave a legacy for the boy named after his brother, who tragically died in an automobile accident when Embiid was in his first year as a 76er. Then goes on to say, well, in order to be great at your job, you have to show up for work. Yada, yada, poor conditioning. You know the rest. But that was the first paragraph, or first really sentence of his article.
And that's why Embiid said yesterday that he has done so much for this organization.
Right.
People didn't realize what he was talking. He was talking about how much he sacrificed.
Well, he didn't see his brother before he
Right,
passed away. He
right.
hadn't seen his brother for 3 years before he passed away. Brother came to the States, but Embiid was on the West Coast with the team recovering from surgery, so he didn't get to see his brother who was on the
Right.
East Coast staying with his family.
Yesterday on this program, I was kind of taking. Like, I was a little upset with Embiid saying, what has he done for us? Like, he hasn't won anything.
Right.
I didn't realize what he was talking about.
It's much deeper for
so
him.
when you get everything, when you take things out of context, that's the reaction I had. So now that I know the whole story, I'm inclined to take Embiid's side.
Right. And so, obviously, everyone has seen on Twitter, it broke late last night. It hasn't even hit the papers yet, really. But on Twitter, Keith Pompey broke the story. Shams Charania also reported it. Embiid and Marcus Hayes got into it in the locker room. And so there's a few quotes that are surfacing, kind of floating around from what was said in that altercation. Right here it says, as reporters entered the locker room to talk to players, Embiid stood and confronted Hayes. The quote is, the next time you bring up my dead brother and my son again, you're going to see what I'm going to do to you, and I'm going to have to live with the consequences, end quote. Embiid continued with several instances of profanity in the next few sentences. Hayes offered an apology, to which Embiid did not want. He said, quote, that's not the bleepin' first time. Embiid later said that he doesn't care what reporters say, but then Marcus Hayes instigated him and said, but you do. Embiid appeared to get louder at that point, and not long afterward, pushed Hayes on the shoulder while the team's public relations chief got between them. Another PR person moved Tyrese Maxey's interview to the hallway outside the locker room, trying to clear reporters from the chaos that ensued. At the same time, a team security person asked the media not to report on what had happened. Embiid yelled over the security guard, they can do whatever they want, I don't give a bleep. Wow. So,
man,
something?
Got fiery for sure.
It would have been better if it was Howard Eskin. I wouldn't care.
From the top rope.
Hey, come on. I'm not. This is an unfamiliar territory. I've been in the locker room. Jason Whitlock was a Kansas City Star reporter when I was there.
He's very controversial.
Yeah, and very controversial, and would not care. Now, Jason Whitlock is a big dude. You haven't seen him, but probably on TV, he's big. He was an offensive lineman.
I think it goes overboard when you start talking about a player's his brother who just passed away.
He knew what he was doing. I mean, that was the opening of his article. That was the lead.
Yeah, right.
He's trying to catch, eyeballs. He's trying to be like, wow, you really just said that.
And then, real quick, before we get into our Eagles pregame show, we'll start that on the other side. Jason Kelce got a little altercation last night. I mean,
just a bit.
He's walking into the Penn State game, and a kid, I guess a student or
it was a Penn State fan.
A
Yeah,
Penn State fan gets in a verbal altercation with him. Kelce calls him a name and then spikes his phone on the ground, like just gives it a spike.
So the Penn State fan was instigating and taunting Kelce. First off, I just want to say this: whether Kelce wants security or not, somebody needs to step in and get him security, especially if he's going to these college campuses, drinking beer. He's just walking amongst everyone. He needs security, whether
he
he
didn't
wants
have
it
any
or not.
security.
No security at all. He's walking by himself with a case of garage beer
while
everyone's just crowded around him, yelling stuff at him, asking for pictures, fist bumps, whatever.
And you got to know, Dave, this is the day of the modern age where everybody has a phone, a recording device in their hands. You're like crazy if you do stuff like that.
And you're one of the most popular men on earth right now.
Yeah.
They're all recording you. And so the kid behind him who was recording him was shouting certain things behind him. I'm talking like probably not even a foot away from him, just following him. And then he said something about his brother saying, how do you feel that your brother's a bleep for dating Taylor Swift? It was a homophobic slur.
Right.
And so then Kelce kind of brushed it off, but then 5 seconds later, I guess the kid said something else, was still instigating him, had his phone up, literally so close to him, walking right behind him. Turns around, takes his phone, smashes it on the ground, then picks up his phone and takes it with him and keeps walking. Later on, you see a video where Kelce takes the phone, tosses it out of his right hand on the ground almost like a rock, and then I guess he heard the footsteps of the kid trying to get his phone back, so then quick, he scurried over, grabbed the phone. The kid, pushes him, almost shoulder checks him.
Right.
And then Kelce gets up, and first off, he's like, all right, dude, relax. And then he goes, who's the bleep now? Who's the bleep now? Who's the bleep now?
Phone.
Well, he had already spiked his phone at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he walks away after that. But I'll tell you what, man, he's going to get some heat for saying that, and I'm not going to defend him for saying that word. But at the same time, I love what Embiid and Kelce did. You're going to bleep around, you're going to find out. You're going to talk about somebody's family. You're going to talk about somebody in that way. You're not hiding behind your phone today, big guy.
Right.
It's not
happening.
happening.
You know what? People don't realize that when you say things, it can hurt people in certain way. You don't know what you're saying. How can it affect?
Not everything.
These guys are human beings.
Right.
Now, try to pick another job where you can just tell people curse at them, scream at them, tell awful things about their family, and they're not going to do something.
Be a prison guard or something.
No. You can be an office worker and say stuff like that to somebody right to their face and go, what? And they're going to get up behind and they're going to come get you. These guys are the most elite athletes in the world, and nobody's scared. They're like, there's no wall here. There's no right. Okay, now Kelce's not a player anymore. No. He can come after you, and you're liable just as well as he is.
Well, the guy pushes him. He gets up. He could have easily rocked him if he wanted to. So it's just a matter of, this is this guy too. He's probably my height, much lighter than me. Why are you picking a fight with a 6'3", 295-pound offensive lineman? You think you're going to win that battle?
Saturday night in the Philly sports world. I love it, man. It's like we talked about this, like the best reality TV show around is reality.
This is great for us.
Reality,
our show was made before we even woke up today.
Last night we were texting on the way home. We're like, oh, it's going to be a great show tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, we had a lot of fun last night. The locker room crew was at the Sixers game, albeit they lost, and the Sixers are now 1-4 in 13th place in the Eastern Conference. It's Nick. By the way, Nick kept showing me his phone last night. Going, Billy, it's only November 2nd. Relax.
By the way, they're sitting in the cellar with all the teams that beat them too.
I know.
It's pathetic.
It's pathetic. All right, we got a great show lined up today. We got our Eagles pregame show. We're not at Las Calas today, but we'll be at Las Calas next Sunday for the Eagles-Cowboys game. Come on down to Las Calas in Brigantine, where we have our Eagles pregame show today. We have Scott Grayson on it. We get the keys to the game with Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News at 11 o'clock this morning. And then the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, brought to you by Charlie's Bar and Restaurant, is at 11:30. So we got a big show. Let's get a 3-point stand, Dave Klemic.
Let's do it.
All right. The first hour of the locker was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that will help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, from the shore to Center City and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give the Ocean City office a call at 609-399-1227. Ask for Chris Mooney. Now, I want to tell you about McCann Appraisers. For all your real estate appraisal needs, call John A. McCann & Associates, 609-263-7422. Whether commercial or residential properties, for estate, tax, or financial planning, divorce, financing, and more, the professionals at John A. McCann & Associates are licensed and ready to assist you. Give them a call, 609-263-7422. When we return, we'll start with our Eagles pregame show. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein, Dave Klemic, and Danny Ryan right here on 97.3 ESPN.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles host the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 9 of the 2024 season later today.
And he's brought down for a loss by the Gene. And the Eagles take over on down.
Listen to all the action with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick, with pregame coverage starting at 3 p.m. and kickoff at 4 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles, 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Ocean City's real estate market is red hot. You need an agent that has the knowledge and expertise to help. Contact Ocean City's top agent, Mark Grimes. Mark has been selling real estate for 30 years in South Jersey. He can answer all your real estate questions and find you the perfect property. He's available anytime on his cell at 609-425-2042. When Philadelphia star athletes are looking for a house at the beach, they contact Mark Grimes, specializing in buying and selling vacation homes, single-family homes, condominiums, and duplexes, residential and commercial, as well as new construction projects or investment opportunities. Mark Grimes, he's your agent at the beach. Give him a call right now, 609-425-2042, or check out his website at grimes.com.
Hi, this is ex-Philadelphia Eagles tight end Ken Dunnick, and I'm the current publisher of Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, and I'm asking you to become a Camden County police officer and help make our city a better place to live. The Camden County Police Department is now hiring for sworn officers who are going to make a difference in our community. The first year's salary for the position is $51,000. So join the effort today to be part of something bigger than yourself. Visit CamdenCountyPD.org to apply online. That's CamdenCountyPD.org. Thank you.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Servicing Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson & Sons for electrical, they're number one.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screams. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
The road to victory. All right, we're back broadcasting live from the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Dave Klemic, and Danny Ryan producing today. We're going to get you ready for the Eagles and the Jaguars. But how about us, Dave Klemic? We made the Brigantine Times. Of course, we were at La Scala's last week with Vince Papale, former Eagle and Mr. Invincible. And we're in the Brigantine Times.
Yeah, the Brigantine Times, they have that. I always picked it up because when we go do La Scala's, on the way back, I grabbed the Brigantine Bagels, and it's in there. So I was reading that, and when the reporter came in, I was like, oh, cool. I read that every week.
We had a great turnout last week. We're going to be there next Sunday, November 10th, for the Eagles-Cowboys game. That's going to be very interesting. I talked to text Rob La Scala, the owner. He said he loves us. He loves us there, and it's so much fun. But they got great TVs. The food's great, right? The atmosphere is even better. The TVs, you're watching the game, and you're looking out at the Atlantic Ocean.
Cool thing. One of my favorite times in media in my life was having Vince Papale right in there with us.
Wasn't that great?
And sharing that booth with him was great. Yeah. And
of course, we had Dick Vermeil calling in, surprise you guys.
That was the greatest.
The coach. Yeah. He turned 88.
I know.
He just turned 88.
If you met him, you would think he's 58.
Yeah.
He's in great shape. I've been to his basement where he works out. He's got this whole circuit set up. It was like the old school. Remember that old
Tough
school,
as nails,
like
man.
curves?
Yeah.
He set up his own curves in the basement, where he has all the machines. Yeah.
I'm sitting back here. I'm looking at the StreamYard, and I'm just watching you and Vince. And I could tell how much Coach meant to you guys because you guys are you can see in your faces you were getting so emotional.
Danny, I was going to say, both Danny and Dave and Vince welled up right on the set. You can tell they're getting emotional.
You should have seen Billy setting it up, too. He's like, all right, Danny, we're calling Dick Vermeil today, but you can't say it over the mic during the breaks. Don't mention it at all. I'm like, your secret's safe with me, buddy. I got you.
Well, Vince kind of knew. I texted him. I said, we got a special guest calling.
Yeah, I'm sure he had no
The very first thing he texted back, Coach Vermeil with 2 question marks.
Yeah.
But I still did. I said, I'm not telling you. No. It's a surprise.
I can tell you that brotherhood, it runs deep. So
it does.
I met players that are in their almost 80 years old, right? That played for him. Because when he coached the Eagles, he was, 35 or whatever?
Yeah, he just got out of UCLA.
They're still kids, by the way. There's hope. There's guys that are linemen that, we're sitting at a table with some of his old players, and they're just acting like kids.
Right.
Coach is here. You're acting like a kid still. I'm sitting with – anyway, it's neat that brotherhood of a player that, like, Vince is, 78? 78. I'm 46.
Right.
We're vibing.
As soon as Danny, as soon as Vince saw Dave, he came over and gave him the biggest hug.
Yeah.
And then you could just see they had that instant connection. You know what I mean? And by the way, if it wasn't for Coach Vermeil putting his faith and his trust, Vince Papale's story would never have come to fruition.
Right.
No. He gave me a shot and put his faith in me. And I hopefully just did enough to make him.
Well, unfortunately, you had a significant injury. So when Jimmy Thomas breaks your stones about your time in Kansas City, he's not taking into consideration the significance of the injury that you had.
Oh, Jim, but
he's always breaking my stones, but he's always breaking your stones to me.
Well, because
you guys are buddies.
At one point, he all right, listen to this, Jimmy. So he beat me in a race.
Oh, you got him riled up.
But the race, you don't know the parameters of the race. I started from standing still, and I gave him a running start, and we only ran from trash
Jimmy
can to
Thomas?
trash can. So with a full running start, and I started from 0. Of course you're going to win.
Yeah, right.
Of course, Jimmy Thomas is one of the owners of Charlie's Bar. Jeff Thomas, Jimmy Thomas.
But Jimmy's a good friend of mine for growing up. As a matter of fact, I promised him a jersey, and
he said
put up. And I promise you, I'll get that. I'll get it over this week.
All right, let's talk a little Eagles football. Oh, by the way, one little side note: both our Sixers and our Flyers lost last night. It's just amazing how they can transition so quick from the ice hockey rink to the basketball court.
I was thinking the same thing. I saw the Flyers game at 1, and then I saw the Sixers game was at 7:30. I'm like, it's amazing how they're able to do that.
It's amazing, and it was a lot of fun. I want to thank PJ Court again, Mr. Negadelphia, for getting all the locker room crew in there. But today is a big day for a couple reasons. Number one, the Eagles can get their 4th win in a row against the Jaguars team that's having their difficulties right now.
I would venture to say that Doug Pederson doesn't have a job come Monday morning.
You think so? Is that serious?
I mean, they don't typically fire, a head coach in the middle of the season, but
they're 2-6.
They're not going anywhere.
They'll be 2-7 after today. Possibly.
And the thing is, it's not really. I mean, it's Doug Pederson. Don't get me wrong, but I think Press Taylor is really holding Trevor Lawrence back.
But you got to remember, Jacksonville. They're always in England. It seems like
they're about to become, you know
what I mean.
The London Jaguars.
I don't know. But I'm concentrating on today. We got Shady McCoy's getting honored today.
Yeah, that was cool when driving into the city.
You
and
see a billboard.
His face on all the billboards.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
That was cool.
Remember, he was like a third-round draft pick from Pitt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was not the big name in the city. It was Deshaun Jackson, Donovan McNabb, or Michael Vick, whoever. There was all these bigger names than him, and he comes out and he's in the Hall of Fame. So I'm happy for him.
So that was good to see. But today, the game. This is a big game for the Eagles for the simple reason that the Eagles are looking like they're getting better, Dave. Mm-hmm. They had that slow start. The first 4 games, they were 2-2. They didn't look good. Well, look at his face blowing up.
Well,
they didn't look good, but they've won 3 in a row. But I don't care who they play, Dave. Like you said, keep losing teams losing. Dick Vermeil said that. But they've gotten better. They've looked like they're getting better.
One of my greatest predictions of the past 3 years with you, Billy, was that I picked 34 points last week, right? Remember, everybody else is picking 21. Even Scott Grayson, who I really respect his opinion, he's very close on his scores.
I got it right here. Ready? Grayson last week. No, Grayson said 33-17 last week.
He said 33.
Wow, he was close.
He said 21. Grayson said 21.
No,
I said 33.
Really?
That was for last week's game, or was it the Giants game?
The Cleveland Browns.
Oh, that was, 3 weeks ago?
Wait,
No. We were playing. So,
I'm sorry, I got the wrong
yeah. So I picked 34 points. I believe it was 31 or 34 points. They scored, 37?
Yeah.
Okay. So I picked that because of momentum. I said, guys, I understand what's going on right here. Please, let me just explain to you what's happening. They've created momentum that you can't stop for a while. It's not going to stop because now they start to believe in each other and they start to get selfless. And they're having fun. They're making plays instead of worried about screwing up. And then they're going to score a lot of points this week. And I think they're going to score in the first quarter this week.
Hopefully.
Even. You know what I mean?
She's going to break that streak.
But I think it's the defense that's starting to gel. We've always had confidence in the offense. I mean, Jalen Hurts was look, in the last, I've got this stat. I got a bunch of stats here in front of me. I printed it all up. In the month of October, he's 42 of 59. His completion percentage, this is Jalen Hurts, is 71.2, and his quarterback rating is 127. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles. He's gotten better, not significantly better. Obviously, the turnovers are significant. He's eliminated those. But it's the defense that I think is starting to play well.
They're starting to get some confidence in some of
I've
those
always had
rookie
expectations
defensive
of the – but, Dave, we've always had expectations of the offense. Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, right? Jalen Hurts.
How about
but
these
we
rookie
always
corners?
But now the defense, they're starting to believe in Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
They're starting to even Nolan Smith is playing well.
And that's huge if the defense can play like this, or at least, somewhat close to this level for majority of the season, because the offense is going to come around eventually. There's too much talent on that offense for them to stay as Lane Johnson mentioned, constipated the entire season. It's just not going to stay that way. So they're going to come around, but if the defense is already making strides this early on, especially with young corners, unproven defensive line. The edge rushers still aren't doing great. They're better, but they're still not doing great. Bryce Huff's not doing what you paid him to do. If that defense can be like this, man, they're going to be a scary team.
That one play by Cooper DeJean on that zigzag motion by Jamar Chase,
yeah.
And that zigzag motion is hard to cover. Caught him for a loss, and Jamar
saw it
Chase,
immediately.
Dude, that's all I needed to see.
It's a breath of fresh air, isn't it?
That's all I needed to see.
They don't even have Darius Slay right now, and they haven't skipped a beat. It's so
Mitchell
nice.
and
Cooper DeJean
they're a perfect fit.
Salt and pepper, baby.
Right now.
That play, to me, was one of the best defensive plays of high IQ, hustle, and athleticism I've ever seen a defensive back ever made.
He flies around the field, too. I mean, he's explosive. And, you got Reed Blankenship back there at safety as well. I know Gardner Johnson hasn't played up to people's standards so far this season. But
last week.
Yeah, but exactly. Tipped up in the air, and he was at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
So, he makes that play. That's huge. But to have these, like Dave mentioned, have these rookie corners playing like this already, Quinyon Mitchell should probably have 4 interceptions already.
Right.
He's dropped, I think, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's really a privilege.
By the way, Dave, the Eagles' defensive ranking in the NFL is already up to 7. Like 4 4 or 5 weeks ago they were like 22. So they've gone up they've gone down the rankings or up the rankings to 7. All right, and their offense, their ranked total offense is 8. So they're 8 and 7 respectively. They're one of the only. There's only a few teams in the NFL that are in the top 10 in offense and defense, and the Eagles are one of them.
Let me ask you this, and we can talk about this more on the other side if you want to, but the trade deadline's Tuesday. The defense obviously has a few holes. The offense, I think we can all agree we're good. There's certain things you would like the offense to do better, but you're not going to make a trade. Aside from maybe another receiver, Dotson hasn't done much. You already give up a third for him.
Give him a chance.
Regardless, though, the defense, I think we could all agree the one spot on the defense they need to make a trade before Tuesday is the defensive line.
Edge rusher.
Easily.
Right.
I mean,
and
who would you go after?
Who's the dude in Cleveland?
Myles Garrett?
Myles Garrett.
Oh, he would cost an arm and a leg, and then
How about
your head on a platter. It would be a lot.
Yeah, Myles Garrett would be a lot.
If you got Myles Garrett,
is he on the trading block?
They're rebuilding. I would assume they're considering it at least, but there might be a cheaper option in Cleveland. Zadarius Smith could be an option you go after. I mean, Chase Young from New Orleans could be a decent edge rushing option.
Young?
He's not what he used to be.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, but beggers can't be choosers right now with this.
Wasn't he a first-round draft pick at the Washington Commanders?
Yeah, I believe he was second
overall. Second pick.
Yeah.
I met him at the Maxwell Awards.
Chase Young,
yeah,
man, he is a monster.
He's huge.
He is a monster.
And he's fast. I don't understand what maybe
he just doesn't have the explosiveness that he once had. It's
I think it could be a little of the what's the saying that you have the live, love, and
you gotta like football, live it or love it, love it, like it, live it, love it.
3 stages.
Yeah, no, and he doesn't live it.
Yeah, not yet, but he could.
Possibly. Now, how old is Chase Young now?
He's only like 28.
Yeah, he's still youngish.
He's fairly young.
I mean, he got drafted in 2020 as number 2
I'm surprised he's down in New Orleans already.
Yeah.
Let me explain that a little
bit. That's his third stop, right?
That is his third stop, because he got traded to San Francisco.
Yeah, he was in San Francisco.
It's a job, so it's not always fun.
He's still 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still young.
He's young.
Yeah.
Would you take a chance with him?
Yes.
I think
absolutely.
I would too.
Yeah. It's just not, it's a job, and people go I remember it's like punching the clock and going to work. After a while, you got to bring your books, you got to do that. You're sitting there. It's like class 2 where you're sitting there reading homework all the time. It's not just fun all the time.
Right.
You have to go through those things, and it kind of dulls your senses a little bit.
Right.
And it's still got to be fun.
Right.
So
right.
people,
Because it's still a game, right,
It's
Dave?
still a game. Yeah. So coaches that were really good at doing that, Seattle did a great job. Pete Carroll did a great job. I remember hearing about his practices. Everyone would run out to the stadium. They play games together. They would play basketball. They'd shoot hoops in the
fun.
Make it fun.
All right. We're gonna make it fun today because we gotta get a big win. The Eagles need to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Was it 4:05 kickoff?
4:05 Dougie P revenge game. Do you think he gets up for this game? You think he's probably the best game he's coached all year?
I think Jacksonville has a horrible team.
They lost Christian Kirk for the year with a broken collarbone. Brian Thomas Jr. is beat up. I'm not sure his status, so they're not a good team.
ATN's
right
got
now.
a hamstring injury. So
That's right.
Out.
Bigsby barely was able to. He's going to play today, but he was questionable all week.
That's why I don't think Doug will get fired, because they got a lot of things that are out of his control.
I do think he's canned by the end of the year, unfortunately.
Really?
I love the guy, but I do think he's out by the end of the year.
Let's get her going. The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to Center City and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Coughlin at 856-988-8900 or give Chris Mooney a call in the Ocean City office, 609-399-1227. I want to tell you about La Scala's Beach House. We love La Scala's. We're down there for our Eagles pregame show next Sunday, November 10th. The Eagles are playing the Cowboys. Got to come on down. It opened last summer to rave reviews. It's your home away from home for a large selection of Italian, American, and seafood favorites, just like your grandmom used to make. Plus, you'll love their famous pizza, daily specials, and their game day menu. Eat in or take out at La Scala's. They're located at 1400 Ocean Avenue in Brigantine. That's LaScalasBeachHouse.com. Let's eat. When we return, we'll continue with more here in the locker with Billy Schwein, Dave Klemic, Danny Ryan, right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Ryan Radke here from Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Mike Golick and I are set to bring you the 4-4 Colts and the 5-2 Vikings this week. Sam Darnold in Minnesota will be looking to get back on the winning track after suffering back-to-back losses. The Colts have made a quarterback change. They'll go to Joe Flacco to try to get back in the win column themselves. Join us for the Colts and the Vikings on Sunday Night Football.
Listen to Sunday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins after Eagles football.
Train presents The Unstoppables. Those captains of comfort, those gargantuans of the guarantee, those satisfaction savants who persevere perilously beyond probability as the raconteurs of reliability. Here's to Train's heralded heroes of heating and air conditioning, those comfort kings with a tireless tenacity for total turnaround. The Train Comfort Specialists. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Hi, this is Joe Lenigan, owner of Lenigan Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call us today for your free Train system quote at 609-399-1200 or online at ocnjplumber.com. And please don't forget to ask for the military and senior discount.
Rendezvous Pizza, Rendezvous Pizza, the pizza you're gonna love. It's got the freshest taste that you'll find any place. Rendezvous Pizza, there's one right nearby. Rendezvous Pizza, Rendezvous Pizza. It's a pizza like you never had before. Eat it or take it home, no matter where you roam. Rendezvous Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Rendezvous Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Why would you call anyone else besides Randazzo's Pizzeria and Family Restaurant, 34th and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Open year-round, 7 days a week, offering free delivery on the whole island and to the beach. Pizza, pasta, salads, entrees, subs, paninis, and wraps. Voted best of the shore. Call 814-1600. 814-1600.
Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Rendezvous Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, Dave Klemic, Danny Ryan, and, of course, I love my Volkswagen Teos. That car is – I love it, man. It handles.
Every week.
Dude.
Every week.
All right,
I
go ahead.
love it.
Continue. I'll tell you why. Continue about your tails.
I go up to Toms River Volkswagen. They'll get you Huey, John. They'll get you into a car. Anytime I have a problem, like if I don't know what I'm doing, I call John. He sets me straight.
Last night, when we left, I drove everybody home, right?
Right.
And Josh Hennig did an impression of Billy Schweim, and he goes, and he talked about you talking about your car. He goes, I love my Teos. I love it. And he goes, yeah, he did your imitation. Oh, my gosh, it was so good.
Best.
I hope Josh is listening to this.
He does do a solid Billy impersonation.
Yo, and he did it about you talking about your Teos. It was the funniest thing.
It handles well. It's got great pickup. It's sporty. I love the color.
Trust me, I've seen the pickup live and in person, him going 85, speeding by me on the expressway. I go, son of a bleep, is that Billy Schweim passing me? I'm telling you, I'm coming down here. I leave early and get here before him sometimes.
Go above 82.
Yeah, tell it to the choir.
If you ever see the movie Naked Gun, every time Leslie Nielsen pulls into a parking spot, he like speeds into it and like skids out and knocks everything.
That's Billy.
I've seen him pulling into the parking lot here.
Yeah. I've left just
getting into his parking spot.
It's crazy. I've left just to get here before him purposely sometimes, and then he'll speed past me, see the locker room sticker going right past me on the expressway. I'm like, this guy, come on.
Split, man.
Yeah.
So, listen, the Eagles are only one of 2 teams that are in the top 10 in both categories of offense and defense total.
And just in the past 3 weeks, they were trash.
That's how far they've come in 3 weeks, and I think they're going to build on it today. I feel positive. I think Jalen Hurts is going to go off today. Now, last week, I only said my prediction was like 20-14, but they've won. This is the second back-to-back games, and they won by 20 points or more.
Who wants to put some money on this?
Ooh,
ready? They were going to score in the first quarter. We're going to score in the first quarter this week. We're going to score twice in the first quarter.
I think they're going to unload on the Giants.
They should have scored in the first quarter last week, but the Bengals drive just took up the entire quarter because it went to the second quarter, but they scored in their first drive. They got 3 points. So it just they're getting there. I think. I mean, again, if you're winning games, doesn't matter if you score in the first quarter until I guess you play really good teams. But
so you look at last
venture
week,
to say that bet would be good.
You look at last week's performance. Jalen Hurts was 16-20. You look at that. That's like pedestrian, right? It's like he didn't turn the ball over.
Not asking him to do too much.
Right. He don't ask him to do too much. Just be a field general and protect the ball. He was 16-20 for 236 yards. His average pass completion was 11.8 yards, 1 TD, no interceptions, 132 quarterback rating. That's all you ask. But today, he's going off, Danny.
And he wasn't scrambling by default. He was running when he needed to, and he was doing smart runs. I mean, he was getting the first down, extending the play when he had to. And how about that ball to Devontae Smith last week?
Oh, man.
Right on the money.
That was beautiful. And you know what? Just having A.J. Brown out there in a one, you really can't one-on-one him too much with the receivers that we have. But if you tried to, and he recognized that it's a completion. It's a absolute completion. He wins any one-on-one matchup every single time.
They tell the entire stadium it's about to happen, and they still complete it because he's a freak of nature.
Dave, you can attest to this. When I was playing football, the coaches said, hey, we're going to run. They're going to stop what we do. We're not going to worry about what they do.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do what we do, and we're going to perfect what we do. And they can know it's coming, and we're still going to run it right at them.
It's more what the NFL is, and that's why I used to get mad at the last year when we ran so many run pass options or whatever RPOs. I was so mad because we're such a physically dominant team. Why don't we just do what we do and just be aggressive?
All right, but you know what? The one component they've been doing, a lot of play action last week, right? You know the Eagles lead the league in rushing attempts in the NFL.
I did not know that.
They're the number 1 team. Brian Baldinger yesterday.
Baldy was on yesterday. That was awesome. Yeah.
He put out this tweet, all right? But we talked about it yesterday on the show. We had Brian Baldinger on for the NFL Network. The highest percentage run teams through 8 weeks. Eagles are number 1 at 55% of the time they run the ball. They're 5-2. Steelers are next. They run the ball 54% of the time. They're 6-2. The Ravens, 52% of the time, they're 5-3. Lions, 52%, they're 6-1. And the Commanders, by the way, the Commanders have scored like 236 points on offense, more than any other team in the East.
Also, there's a little context
By far.
when there's context to running. When you're playing from ahead, like if you're ahead, you run the ball more because you don't want to stop the clock. So if you get ahead early, then you run the ball, because you just trying to eat up clock. So you have to look at every stat in context. But in our context, we have Saquon Barkley in the backfield, and we have a Jalen Hurts that can run like crazy. So it actually does work. The context of what we do makes sense. Some people they get ahead and they run the ball 100 times just to run the clock.
So we'll talk to Scott Grayson at the top of the second hour, as we do each and every Sunday throughout the football season. We get the keys to the game with Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News, brought to you by Blitz's Market in Ocean City. He'll tell us, and he always says this, you got to always protect the ball. You got to win the turnover battle. That's number 1. More times than not, he says, let's run the ball. And when they run the ball, they have success.
And they were running under center last week.
And they were running under center. They did the play action.
That's why the play action was very successful.
You know, Brian Baldinger and his Baldy breakdowns. If you follow Baldy at Baldy NFL, Dave, when you do that play action, it freezes the linebackers.
Also,
it gives A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith more room to run in the middle.
Also, Let me explain something. Let me sports sciences for you guys for 1 second. All right. When you have a
Klemic performance,
this is what I do. This is what I do. All right. So when you go under center and the running back has a head of steam going into the handoff. Now he's got that. Now he's not taking it from a standstill. He's got it going forward. You're hitting 6 to 7 miles per hour at the line of scrimmage with people trying to arm tackle you. He'll break arm tackles and he'll break through. If you get the ball at 3 miles per hour, you can't break arm tackles from 300-pounders.
Right.
So for that reason, you get better runs.
So that's what they say when you're running downhill.
Downhill.
You got you literally have momentum.
Momentum, exactly.
So I have the under center snaps by game for the Eagles this season, and they are coming around a little bit. So the Packers game 7, Falcons game 7, Saints game 3. Bucks game 6, Browns game 7, then the Giants game 13. Last week against the Bengals, they're most of the season with 21. Now, do you think this is a sign of things to come, or do you think this is, they were up big?
No,
why not go under center and try
Danny?
and run the clock out?
You know what I think is, Danny and Dave? I think Kellen Moore is obviously realizing, had an awakening and said, look, I tried it this way. It wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it this way. Or maybe the players put some input in because, Dave, you told me before players will go to the coach and say, let's do this. Like how about what we said about with Cody last night? Sometimes you have to break off your route, right?
Yeah.
To get open. If the play that's called is not there, and you can, instead of going to the right, you go to the left, go to the middle of the field, it's there. Maybe Kellen Moore is waking up to the fact that this is what the players want to do. This is what they feel comfortable doing. And this is how we're going to attack it from now on out.
Yeah,
it's working.
It's a neat thing, but when the players have their own input in the leadership and the decision making, it gives them onus. It gives them ownership of it, and they play a little bit better. So they do that on purpose. Sometimes they kind of dish it out a little bit.
But you can get coaches that have they got a chip on their shoulder, like it's going to be done my way or the highway. They try to force a square peg in a round hole.
Right. You remember Nick Foles went to the sideline in the Super Bowl and said, "How about Philly?" And he goes, "Okay."
Yeah.
It wasn't even called Philly. It was called the Philly Special.
Right.
And he called it the Philly, and he goes, all right, let's do it. I mean, and they executed the play perfectly. So one of the greatest things ever was where you put the onus back on.
And A.J. Brown was speaking this week about how Nick Sirianni allows them the flexibility to come to him with ideas for the offense. If they have an idea, and he'll tell them how it is. He'll be like, listen, that's not going to work in our offense. I appreciate you come with that idea, but it's just not a fit. Or he'll say, that's a great idea. We should implement it this week in practice.
Dave, especially if it works. If A.J. Brown goes to Kellen Moore and says, hey, listen, I want to break it inside. Remember you were explaining how you were doing. Explain that.
So in high school offense that we played, we had like 3 pass plays total in the Delaware wing team. So we would get out to the line of scrimmage, and me and my quarterback, Jeff Boyd, had our own hand signals to what route we actually wanted to run.
Because if the defensive back's up on you pressing, you're going to do something different.
So if we liked the slant, the out, the fade, we would just tell each other. We would do hand signal. I would do fade on my hair, like I was cutting my hair, and he would do the same thing back.
That's smart.
So we agree.
Yeah.
Boom, we take it.
Right.
So and that was kind of like we would do that on our own, and we didn't tell the coach or anything because that wasn't the route call. But we scored a touchdown.
But in the end, Danny, if it works, it works. The coach, if the coach is if he's worth his salt, he's going to say, let's do it.
You're right.
Like Doug Pederson did in the Super Bowl.
You have to trust your players, but with Sirianni, it's such a slippery slope with this group because of what happened last year, how they got off to the slow start offensively this year. You want to trust your players, but you also have to use your better judgment and say, okay, I might want to trust Jalen and AJ right now, and I know I should, but we haven't shown the success. I mean, before last week in the Giants game too, they hadn't shown the success that you could fully trust them at all times to make those calls on the fly.
But I think because Kellen Moore has changed, like under the center, just under center alone, like you said, running downhill, Dave. Just the fact that he's after the 6th or 7th week, he's doing something different because it's working.
I really do hope that's here to stay, and they weren't just running out the clock trying to milk time. Because if it's not here to stay, I don't know what. I mean, you saw how it opened up your offense.
When you
last
have
week.
a Saquon Barkley, why won't you look? Get him last week, 22 carries, 108 yards. I think if he gets anywhere between 18 and 24 carries a game, you're going to see him probably break 100.
Yeah, and you know what? You said it. Freezing safeties is a big deal for your receivers too, because if you have a running back like Saquon Barkley, and you said it last week, it was great. He'll have 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, and then boom, 65.
Yeah.
And if you have the threat of him getting past the line that bad, they're gonna stay honest.
And that's just going to open up
everything up.
He is such a breath of fresh air because while he can run on the inside and he has success, pounding the ground, he has the vision that Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift didn't have.
Right.
Because Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift always had the speed. You saw the potential there, but they couldn't. They would try to bounce it outside too much. They wouldn't run in between the tackles, the guards.
And Saquon's not afraid of that.
Saquon is not afraid of that, and he'll run in between the tackles and the guards. He'll do an inside run, and he'll still bounce to the outside because he's that talented and versatile. So it's such a breath of fresh air.
Little quick story, little short story, anecdote, and some things that you remember when you were a player from high school and stuff. But I'll never forget when I was a freshman, I played quarterback, and that's when coaches started calling the plays on their own. Like they don't have anybody in the booth for a freshman game. They were just calling plays like anybody else. I can do that. I'll never forget. I said, Coach, I used to beg him every day. Let me call my own plays. Let me call my own plays. I got a feel for this. Let me call my own plays. About the 7th game of the year, he let me call the first half, and I called a counter crisscross, like on the 15-yard line, and it was wide open. And when he came back, I'll never forget. My coach Ted Kelly goes, "Outstanding call, young man. Outstanding call, young man." Like, that made me feel so good. Like, I can imagine what the players now, they're putting their input, they're owning it, and it's working.
That's great. I mean, and they're just kids. They're kids. All right. Kid.
The first hour,
whether I want to believe it or not, I am.
The first hour in the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to Center City and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give the Ocean City office a call. Ask for Chris Mooney, 609-399-1227. Now, just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine that is run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up hour number 1. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Hey, it's Mike Gill. Coming up on Monday's show, we'll take a look back at the Eagles and the Jacksonville Jaguars, plus the Sixers and Flyers weekend. Grayson's Grades, Football at 4 with Jeff Mosher, Johnny Mack, and more. Plus, it's your first chance to enter a spot in this year's 99 Growlers Party.
The Sports Bash, weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Service in Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson and Sons for electrical, they're number one.
How would you like to go to the 2025 Masters Golf Tournament? Go to ticksforgood.org to find out how you can win the grand prize of 2 weekend passes to the 2025 Masters, as well as plenty of other awesome prizes like Masters hats, t-shirts, and foursomes to your favorite South Jersey golf courses. Go to ticksforgood.org to learn how you can win these prizes. This sweepstakes is brought to us by our friends at Shane Orthopedics and the David Scales State Farm team.
Every year, hundreds of children suffer from unintentional injuries or death due to unsecured guns. Camden County and Moms Demand Action South Jersey are asking for your help to reduce gun violence by spreading the Be Smart message.
Store guns unloaded, locked, and separate from ammunition. And talk to other parents about secure gun storage.
It's up to us to prevent these tragedies and save lives. Visit CamdenCounty.com/BeSmart to learn how we can stop gun accidents and deaths together.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the things that just will never come out. Oh, it's shade. Rinse it out. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Time of year for killer deals.
You've had your eye on some hot new wheels. We want to pay off your loan or lease and tell your old car to rust in peace.
Take your Matt Blatt Kia today. Buried in a loan or lease? Matt Blatt Kia wants to get you released and treat yourself to 0 down, 0 payments until next year. Even 0% up to 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Blatt Kia in stock. You won't need a costume to get a brand new Matt Blatt Kia Forte LXS under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999 with any trade. That's less than most used vehicles.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With 24 EV 9 and 6, $13.88 per thousand. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payments. Offers can't be combined. Go to mattblattkia.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Through KMF. Rebates and incentives to deal. Expires 10/31/24.
Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township. And on Route 37 in Toms River.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live in the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, Danny Ryan, Dave Klemic. I want to remind people that Tropicana in Atlantic City is back with a Boxing Insider Promotions on November 16th. Tickets are now on sale at Ticketmaster. There's no place like AC, like the Tropicana showroom, to watch live boxing. Of course, our buddy who we've had in the studio, Justin Figueroa, he's 10-0. 8 of his wins are by knockout. And then, of course, Bruce Sheldon Jr., he's another local guy. They'll all be on the card. That's November 16th at the Tropicana. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster or the Tropicana box office.
There you go.
All right. On the other side, we'll be talking with Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News. Now, last week, I think everybody picked the Eagles to win last week. Except for, no, maybe. By the way, I read the wrong.
Do you have the score sheet?
No, I threw out the wrong paper, so I threw it out. I think only 2 people picked. Who did you pick last
I picked the Eagles in a narrow win.
Yeah, I picked the Eagles, but
I picked 34 points because I was like, remember, I go, guys, I understand momentum. I've been in that. I feel it. 34 points, and we got 37.
Yep. We'll get your pick later on today.
Yeah.
Trap game?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think
We're not good enough to have a trap game yet.
Yeah.
Well, they got the Cowboys next week. That's why they're saying trap.
If everything goes well, everything goes according to plan, Kenny Pickett will be in after halftime. You know? Come on. Maybe some Tanner McKee by the fourth quarter.
That's what P.J. Quarter wants, Mr. Negadelphia.
Oh,
he wants Kenny Pickett.
Kenny two gloves? Gotcha.
Did Pitt win last night? They played.
Not sure.
They looked that up.
The Penn State game.
By the way, brutal loss for Penn State.
Yeah.
Same play 3 times at the goal line.
What's wrong with
and then your 4th and goal pass play. Nobody's on the right side.
All right. The Locker with Billy Schweim, Dave Klemic, Danny Ryan. It's our Eagles pregame show. Scott Grayson coming up next, then the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles host the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 9 of the 2024 season later today.
And he's brought down for a loss by the Gene. And the Eagles take over on down.
Listen to all the action with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick with pregame coverage starting at 3 p.m. and kickoff at 4 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles, 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Get your holidays started with the perfect tree in your perfect style from the Home Depot. Whether you want something that you can assemble in a few clicks, steal the show with over 2,000 color-changing bulbs, or a tree with lights that can be controlled by remote or foot pedal. The Home Depot has it all in our huge assortment of premium trees. Plus, get free delivery on over 2 million items this holiday from the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see homedepot.com/delivery for details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED. And it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Macy's Friends and Family is going on right now, and it's the best time to shop for all the gatherings and gifting ahead. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off the latest trends, new arrivals, and the best brands like Karl Lagerfeld Paris, Steve Madden, Hotel Collection, and more. And get 15% off beauty too. Plus, get free shipping with any $25 purchase today at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screams. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Thank God I'm up, girl!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Just in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Welcome to the locker room.
Vince Papali, welcome to the locker room.
I can smell it already, Billy.
Ron Hayes, welcome to the locker room with Billy Schwein.
Yeah, hey, Billy, how you doing out there?
Rich Gannon, welcome to the locker room, Rich.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be with you.
Great Bob McElwee, NFL referee.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Craig Berube. Craig, welcome to the locker room.
All right, thanks, Billy.
We have the real Pat Croce in the locker room.
Off the bench, Coach.
And now here's your host, Billy Schwein.
All right, we're back broadcasting live from the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schwein, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver and mainland product Dave Klemic, and producing and co-hosting today, Danny Ryan, getting ready for Eagles football, Eagles Jags, 4:05. You catch all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN. Mike and Merle on the call. Merle Reese.
We had him on the show, too.
him on the
Pretty
show.
cool.
Yeah,
Remember when he messed with me? I told him, I was like, we have a Merrill Reese impersonator.
Yeah.
And he lets me go through this whole diatribe about how he has a Merrill Reese impersonator at flag football game. He goes, I should have gotten paid for that thing. And I go, I pull it back on the mic. I'm like, oh, my gosh, I didn't know.
I should have brought that up.
And he's like, I'm just kidding. And I was like, oh, he totally got me.
Every Sunday throughout the football season, we get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson, sponsored by Blitz's Market in Ocean City, located at 21st and Asbury Avenue. Try their famous breakfast sandwiches, hoagies, gourmet burgers, and vegetarian options. Online ordering is available at blitzesmarkets.com or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Start your day off with Blitz's freshly squeezed orange juice. Mention the locker room and get $1 off their 12 ounces of liquid sunshine. That's Blitz's Markets. Get down there, say hello to Dave, Joan, Mama Blitz. They're all down there. Let's go to the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome in the locker room our good buddy, Scott Grayson. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
All right, man. You look like you're cleaned up and ready to go for Eagles football.
He's in his Sunday best.
His Sunday best.
Yeah, I will be down there later today for a little while.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Scott, big win last week. I thought last week's win was so important for the psyche of this team because it was a true test because the Giants and the Cleveland Browns prior to that, everybody expected them to win, but the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow, not so sure. And the way they came out, they were firing on all cylinders, got a pretty win, an aesthetically a pleasing win. It was a good thing to see last week.
It really was. To me, it was the game that was the kind of the biggest measuring stick game we've had so far. Because the Bengals, even though the record wasn't as great as people expected it to be, they were playing better. And the fact that the Eagles went in there, won the turnover battle, and also then had so much success on offense. Now, again, they still didn't score in the first quarter, but, the Bengals had the ball for 10 minutes of that first quarter. So the Eagles did score on their first possession. So I'm seeing things, Billy, I came out of that game thinking, I think we're starting to figure out the identity of both sides of the ball here, of who they are, what they want to be. And, Jalen Hurts not turning it over for several weeks in a row is not a small thing. But they're not asking him to throw it 40 times a game anymore. It's like somebody finally learned and thought, hey, we have Saquon Barkley back here. We should be able to run the ball pretty well and only ask Jalen to throw it 20 to 25 times. And if you do that, I think that's a formula for success. And you got to look at the guys who've really stepped up here. I mean, you're missing 2 starting offensive linemen. You wouldn't know it by what you see going on week to week. Jeff Stoutland doing an amazing job having these guys ready. Fred Johnson's doing a great job filling in for Jordan Mailata. You've got Grant Calcaterra, who's getting 3 to 4 catches for really provided a nice intermediate route kind of target for Jalen Hurts. And then you got Jack Stoll providing big time blocks on the edge to hold off, would-be rushers to allow Jalen Hurts to hit Devontae Smith for that big touchdown. So there's just a lot of good things happening here. And I just think there's a lot of reason to be optimistic about this team. My only fear today, and these are professionals, and Dave, I know you could speak to this a little bit about when you get to be a pro, it shouldn't really be a case, but just that this has a trap game to it kind of mentality.
I asked Billy, I said, is it a trap game?
Yeah,
and he said no.
I don't think so, but
you got 3 games.
I can see why you think that way. So
3 games in 11 days. You got the Cowboys up next with the Commanders right after it on short rest. These are big division games, and they won't mean anything if you lose today. So you got to stay focused, and I'm not as worried about it from the standpoint that I think, Nick Sirianni's had these guys. I don't know if you guys heard his line about perfume, right? You want to smell it, you want to sniff it, but don't drink it. I think that's all related to not looking past the Jaguars today. It's about fine, be good, hear yourself, look, take the praise, but then when it's time to go to work, go to work. And today's the day to go to work. They haven't had many home games. Enjoy playing in front of the home crowd. LaShawn McCoy going into the Eagles Hall of Fame today. I don't expect it to be a trap game. I'm just saying that's the one little caveat in the back of my mind that is sitting there.
We're talking with Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News. As we do each and every Sunday, we get the keys of the game brought to you by Blitz's Market. Scott, we had Brian Baldinger on yesterday. And Brian Baldinger, and this is one thing, every time we get the keys to the game with Scott Grayson, 9 times out of the 10, what do you say, Scott? Run the ball. Well, guess what? Last night, Brian Baldinger tweeted, the Eagles have the highest run percentage with teams through 8 weeks. They're at 55% of the time they run the ball. They're 5-2. The Steelers are next at 6-2. Ravens 5-3. Lions at 52%, 6-1. Commanders at 6-2. So all the teams that are winning because they're running the ball.
Yeah. And when you have Saquon Barkley in this offensive line, why wouldn't you run the ball? I just think so much of their success in the passing game last week was because they established the run. We're seeing Jalen go under center just a little bit more. It's allowing the play action stuff to be there and be more effective. They're sealing off the edges well with their, protecting Jalen and giving him a place to step up and throw when he does. But it's all because the running game is there. And look, you have an offensive line like this, and even with the backups in there, these guys love to run block. They love to pave that way. And they've all told me, you don't have to block for long. All you got to do is give Saquon just a little crevice, and he's through. So they love it because they don't have to do it that long, and he's by them and off into the second level. So, I just think that this is where this team's identity is. Now, you do have to be careful, and I know some people out there are already starting to sound the alarms. You got to watch how many touches you're giving Saquon. You want him to be there in January. Okay, but he's a guy who really thrives on being fed. So, What I'd really like to see them do is a little bit of what they did last week, right? Go up like they did back in 22. Get some leads like today. Get a double-digit lead going, and by the fourth quarter, start giving those guys a little bit of a rest. But it's all got to be started in the first, second, third quarters, and that run game is so huge in setting the tone for. Like, listen, today I know Nick won't do it. If you win the coin toss, take the ball, set the tone with your offense, run the ball, let Saquon set the tone, and just put the Jaguars away before they even have a chance to touch the ball.
Hey, Scott, last weekend I picked 34 points that the Eagles would put up, and you think you picked 21, and I said, listen, and I rarely try to be the alpha on these things. I think you guys are way better sports broadcaster people than but I know momentum. I've been in that locker room with the year we had Dante Hall, Eddie Kennison, Tony Richardson, Willie Rofe, Will Shields, Tony Gonzalez, Trent Green, all Pro Bowlers, right? And I watched how we gelled during that. We started off 9-0 that season, right? I remember how much fun we were having. I see them doing that, and that momentum, I knew they were going to score a lot of points. I just this time, just listen to me, guys. Sorry, but do you feel that momentum, and do you feel like seeing them having fun, just making plays instead of being scared and worried about just doing their assignment and their alignment? And like at practice and stuff in the locker room, do you feel that fun factor?
Yeah, fun. The word I would use, Dave, to me, and I think you can relate to this from when that's swagger. I feel like there's that swagger back in the locker room a little bit. The confidence that comes from it. That's what I'm sensing. It's not like they're all running around beating their chest saying that. It's just, you see them walking around with their heads held a little higher, their shoulders a little straighter. You just feel like there's that confidence going around that place. And they're all happy. Like today, I for Fox 29, I did a story for our game day show today on just the guys who have been like the unsung heroes, right? The guys who are role players. I talked to Ben Van Summeren, who's been playing fullback, right? A linebacker who came to camp. And he said, he was telling me the story about he had an interception, made a few moves with the ball in camp, and they said, let's try putting this guy at fullback. And he's running with it. He loves it. And then Grant Calcaterra, talked to him about how he's filling in for Dallas Goedert. He's been that guy to get 3 to 4 catches a game, each catch 15 to 20 yards, right? But they love playing their roles and what they're doing for this team. And Dave, you could speak to this part of it. So there's that swagger, but you got to have those role players. You got to have those guys who understand, they're not going to get a lot of the credit, but they're going to go out there and play big roles that could help teams win games, like Jack Stoll with the block last week. Calcaterra with these catches, Van Summeren paving the way a little bit for Saquon. These are big things to have, and they've got role players playing roles, and they're doing it unselfishly. And they're all helping the team win. And I think these are all key components that play into chemistry and that then help build that swagger and that confidence. So they've got all that going right now. I don't see any reason why that won't continue to go today.
One more thing, too. Would you rather have LaShady McCoy in your backfield or Saquon Barkley in your backfield?
Wow. That is a tough. You know what? I'll pick second in that draft, and I'll take either one. You guys probably don't. I had the chance to cover Shady in high school. I was working in Harrisburg, and I saw him as a sophomore in high school. And he was a special kid. You could tell that. And he's just got such cuts. The way he can make cuts was reminding me a little bit of like Barry Sanders, from when I was growing up. But then what you see with Saquon is patience. And what I love about his running style is he lets the hole open. He gets in there and he can cut in the hole as well as the back I've seen lately, right? And then he always drives the pile forward. His thighs are so freaking big. He just can drive the opponent. He takes a 2-yard run and it's usually 4 to 5 yards, right? Mm-hmm. How valuable is that? And that's where his special, and then he breaks 1 or 2 here and there that just really break the back of the defense. Shady had that ability to hit a home run every time he touched the ball. Both guys are special running backs. I think it's we're lucky to have seen both of them in an Eagles jersey.
Scott, two-parter for me here. Earlier you mentioned that Jalen Hurts is starting to operate under center a bit more, and obviously it's a breath of fresh air. It's a nice sight to see. But my question for you is, do you think that was more of a product of them being up big, trying to milk the clock out, and just they were operating under center because of that? Or do you think that's really what's to come? I mean, they had their most snaps under center last week on the season with 21. And the second question is, do you think Howie Roseman makes any additions before Tuesday's deadline? And if so, where?
Let me start with the second one first because it's a shorter answer.
Right.
I do think he will do something, and if I had to pick, probably edge rusher just to get a little more pressure out there. I think there's some guys that could be had, and I just don't. Howie doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to sit pat and not make a move. As to your first question, I think what they're, Brian Baldinger, I had heard him, and he had been saying, early in the week, had tweeted out something about how a couple of Eagles had gone to the coaches in the bye week and said they really need to run the ball more. They need to do more of what they're doing now. Lane Johnson evidently was one of those guys that kind of said we needed to do a little more of the running the ball, and let's rely on a little bit more of that with a guy like Saquon back here. And I think that Kellen Moore took some of that input from the players and thought, well, how can we do it more effectively? And so by putting Jalen under center a little more, it not only helps the run game, any running back who has that chance to run downhill and take the handoff as opposed to just turning to the side and grabbing it, it makes a difference. So I think there's some of that. Plus, they're also seeing the benefits then through the play action where you can easily maybe get a team to freeze on that a little bit easier out of center. But no, it's not Jalen's strength. It has not been his strength to drop back into a straight 5-7 step drop and throw out of the pocket on time. But we're starting to see him kind of grow into that role. And I think they've clearly been working with him on that. And that's what we started to see last week. His throws were coming out on time. His back foot was hitting and he was throwing the ball. If we can start to see more of that more consistently, I think his game's going to continue to grow. And he could end up having a really good second half of the season. I think there's a potential for that for sure.
And, of course, that is attributed to Kellen Moore being able to adapt and listen to his players and change. Some coaches don't have the ability to do that. All right, Scott, now it's time for your 3 keys to the game. We'll get your prediction for the Eagles against the Jaguars today.
Yeah, I think number one, be the bully and play like the bully. Look, you're the better team today. Every one of the Vegas odds makers is saying that as well. You need to go out there today and establish right from the beginning, this is your home field. It's going to be a long day for Doug Pederson and his boys over there in the Jaguars colors. So to me, I think you got to come out with that swagger, that attitude. And to me, this is a big deal. Play like you're the better team out there and get these guys to give up early. I think it can be done. Number 2, score in the first quarter. It all feeds into that as well. Get an early lead. Let your defense play with what they've done well. I keep drawing back to this. In 2022, what they did so well and went to the Super Bowl was they went up on teams, and by the second half, they were easily one-dimensional because they had to throw the ball to catch up. This is the kind of day where I think that they could definitely do that. Get up early and make the Jaguars one-dimensional and just start teeing off on Trevor Lawrence. I think that could happen too. And then, of course, the third thing, just the turnovers is always going to be one of my keys, and it's going to have to be there again today. Jalen needs to continue to take care of the ball. And more than that, I want to see the defense really start to build some momentum with takeaways. That was awesome last week. That play by Isaiah Rodgers and CJ Gardner-Johnson was beautiful. You get a strip sack and you get the ball or you get that fumble recovery as well. 2 big plays for the defense. So, to me, those are the things to watch for today, Billy, and that's I don't doubt this team at all. I think they're going to come out with a big win.
All right, give us your prediction. What's the score?
I'm looking. Here you go, Dave. Right, I'm going to go high today. Listen, I like a 37.
Wow.
I'll go 37-17. Some garbage points for the Jags.
Same scores last week.
37. That would be another 20+ point victory. Would make it 3 in a row. All right, Scott Grayson, as always, we appreciate you. We look forward to a big win and talking to you next week. We'll be back at Las Scala's for the Eagles-Cowboys pregame show.
That'll be a fun one.
All right, talk to you then, Scott.
Thank you. All right, see you guys.
All right, the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson is sponsored by Blitz's Market in Ocean City, located at 21st and Asbury Avenue. Try their famous breakfast sandwiches, hoagies, gourmet burgers, and vegetarian options. Online ordering is available at blitzesmarkets.com or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Start your day off with Blitz's freshly squeezed orange juice. Mention the locker room and get $1 off their 12 ounce of liquid sunshine. That's Blitz's Markets. All right, for over 83 years, the Circle Liquor Store has offered the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits in South Jersey. It's a stone's throw away from Ocean City. It's a landmark. With a friendly staff, it's no wonder why Circle Liquors was named Best of Philly, Best of Atlantic City, with the most competitive prices around. The Circle Liquor Store is now a proud sponsor of the second hour of the Locker Room with Billy Schwein. Throwing a party, preparing for the big game? Let Chet and his staff make sure you have everything you need. Check out the website at circleliquors.com or give them a call at 609-927-2921. They deliver. John A. McCann. Let me tell you about John A. McCann Appraisers. For all your real estate appraisal needs, call John A. McCann and Associates, 609-263-7422. Whether commercial or residential properties, for estate, tax, financial planning, or divorce, or financing and more, the professionals at John A. McCann and Associates are licensed and ready to assist you. Give them a call right now, 609-263-7422. When we return, we'll continue with more here in the Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN.
Ryan Radke here from Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Mike Golick and I are set to bring you the 4-4 Colts and the 5-2 Vikings this week. Sam Darnold in Minnesota will be looking to get back on the winning track after suffering back-to-back losses. The Colts have made a quarterback change. They'll go to Joe Flacco to try to get back in the win column themselves. Join us for the Colts and the Vikings on Sunday Night Football.
Listen to Sunday Night Football on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins after Eagles football.
Ocean City's real estate market is red hot, and you need an agent that has the knowledge and expertise to help. Contact Ocean City's top agent, Mark Grimes. Mark has been selling real estate for 30 years in South Jersey. He can answer all your real estate questions and find you the perfect property. He's available anytime on his cell at 609-425-2042. When Philadelphia star athletes are looking for a house at the beach, they contact Mark Grimes, specializing in buying and selling vacation homes, single-family homes, condominiums, and duplexes, residential and commercial, as well as new construction projects or investment opportunities. Mark Grimes, he's your agent at the beach. Give him a call right now, 609-425-2042, or check out his website at grimes.com.
Hundreds of Volkswagens in stock and on sale. Hundreds of Mitsubishis, even 100 electric Pintelli golf carts in stock and on sale at Tom's River Auto Group. And not one a penny over sticker. Plus, Tom's River Auto has a Birds fan bonus. $500 off just for showing up in a team jersey, hat, socks, whatever. How easy is that? New or used, Tom's River's got plenty, but hurry. On sale, they're flying. Click Tom'sRiverAutoGroup.com.
How would you like to go to the 2025 Masters Golf Tournament? Go to ticksforgood.org to find out how you can win the grand prize of 2 weekend passes to the 2025 Masters, as well as plenty of other awesome prizes like Masters hats, t-shirts, and foursomes to your favorite South Jersey golf courses. Go to ticksforgood.org to learn how you can win these prizes. This sweepstakes is brought to us by our friends at Shane Orthopedics and the David Scales State Farm team.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live from the Toms River Auto Group and studio in Northfield, New Jersey.
You're doing a great job, Jay.
Thanks, man. I was just trying to do my best, Billy.
See, he's imitating me.
Yeah.
Imitates is a greatest form of flattery.
Greatest form of flattery.
Thank
That's
you very
right.
much.
That's right.
You got to talk about my Tiguan.
Oh, man, that Tiguan.
No,
I got great
wait a minute, I'm
acceleration
sorry,
to that
the
thing.
Teos,
Smells
the
brand new.
Teos.
I was going to say, I think I'll tell you.
I had a Tiguan.
I can't do it.
Man, I love my Teo. I'm
So
sorry.
here's
That was a little too old. That was a little too old there.
So he's trying to give me the raspy. He's trying to give me the raspy voice.
Well, Josh did a great one.
He's good at it.
Nick can do it pretty good,
Yeah.
but Josh nailed
So
it.
you guys are imitating me, right?
The whole
But
ride.
I'm not there. See what they're doing,
I
Danny?
cried on the way home, laughing so hard. Yeah.
All right, here's how it sounds. All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schwein, Dave Klemic, and Danny Ryan. Boy, do I love my Teos.
That's it. Boy, do I love my Teos.
Hey, go down there and see, go up to Toms River from here. Go up to Toms River, see Huey, see John Kuhn. They will take care of you. They will put you in a car. And if they get me in a car, they get anybody in a car. You know that, right? They got me in a car. I love the car.
I don't understand.
By chance,
that.
do you love your Teos?
I love it.
Wait,
Like
why
Dave-
did that? I don't understand this. If you get you in a car, meaning you're just that skeptical, or like
because some people have challenges with their credit and stuff like that.
I see.
okay,
I
didn't
see.
know.
Okay.
I was just ambiguous.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that. Okay,
I know,
gotcha.
you know,
All
I
right.
mean, no, but seriously, if they get me in a car at a good price,
Yeah.
they get anybody in a car. That's why
Gotcha.
I say that.
Okay.
I want people to go up there.
I
Tell
want
them the
people to
locker room-
understand that too.
Listen, you realize when I do these, I have advertisers. They support the show, so that means if I say go up there and do it, it'll help the show out.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Help
Speaking
yourself.
of helping-
But if you go up to Toms River, not only will you help the show out, you'll be helping yourself out.
Speaking of helping, the locker room has helped me out too. So Billy always thanks me for coming on here, and I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity because it actually helped me go through the process of approvals for a loan to a bank. Right?
Look at
'Cause
that.
I'm
You know, I
looking-
called you last night because my brother Bobby and I got a huge
yeah.
argument on the way home about you.
Yeah, did you see the picture I sent?
Oh, you and
I
Bobby
said-
getting in an argument.
Oh my
Color
God!
me
the
surprised.
The kid thinks he's right about everything. All I simply said was I said Dave didn't write that.
Yeah,
it was
no,
written
I
by
didn't.
someone else.
I
And he
sent
goes,
you the email.
Bobby goes, well, who wrote that? Dave wrote that. So we had to call Dave and straighten it out. Then, of course, what my brother always does is when he's wrong, he moves the goalpost. He says, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
So I sent you the
one of the-
text,
yeah,
and
so
you
that
can
was
read
perfect.
it from the underwriter, and they said they legitimize your business by the things that you do, even like so they talked my NFL career and this and that.
Right.
And one of the big ones that I was a co-host on the radio show
The
ESPN
locker room.
with Billy Schwein, and we had Vince Papale as a
Yes.
guest. That was actually written into the underwriting.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Because
man.
I have three.
And we made the Brigantine Times today.
Yeah.
All right, you guys are going big time on me.
And
now.
wait, the Sixers.
Remember me when
came-
you're
Well,
famous.
listen. By the way, so last night PJ got us a suite at the Sixers game with the locker room crew went, except for Danny Ryan and Andrew Leeds, and we took a nice picture, which is going to be put on the website. Go to lockerroombillyschwein.com. You're not in it, Danny.
I know. Listen, I'm sorry
hit
for
the
being.
hit the boo plug.
No, I don't have that ready yet. I'm not going to boo myself. I'm sorry for being a good friend. All right, I committed to this. I couldn't flake.
And the Sixers came over to take a picture of us. They had their photographer came up to take a picture. I wonder if PJ set that up too. So.
I'll be there
We
next
gotta look
time.
that up on their website.
Is that going to be on their website?
Yeah.
You can hold my word. My word is good.
right.
I'll be there next time. Hold me to this.
There will be a next time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. Fantasy football is next up on our agenda because,
Yes.
By the way, I have PJ, I believe. Mr. Negadelphi and I are facing off this week.
I need to address something real quick. By the
I
way,
smoked you, boy.
You smoked me. I had a bad week. Players were injured. Had some buys.
I got 4 guys in the EIR. I don't want to hear your problem.
Not when you played me. Here's what I was most upset about, though. Last week I played Clement M. Now Clement M's not setting this lineup. He's waved the white flag on the fantasy football season.
What did he call you? Drafted?
Set and forget it.
Yeah.
Set it and forget it?
He's waved the white flag on the fantasy
Don't tell me
football
you lost-
season.
You lost them?
He had Christian McCaffrey in his lineup, and I believe Mike Evans, 2 guys that were out. Scores 165 and beats me by like a point.
You still had 165?
Dude, his team's good. He just set it and forget it. And when McCaffrey comes back, will be even better. I'll look at the score. I think I lost by 1 point. I was sick about it.
So that's my second win of the whole season.
Yep.
I got the so I'm with Mr. I'm playing Mr. Negadelphia. He's up with me. He's up on me 57-9, but he had 3 players play Thursday night. So I got my
Besides
whole
Billy,
roster.
I'm the only person with kids that's in this fantasy
That's
football
right,
league.
that's right.
So Billy's got kids. I got kids. I don't have time to be changing my roster every minute.
I don't blame you. But I was just like, man, he's not even setting his lineup, and I lost to
On
him.
the other side, we'll talk with the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, brought to you by Charlie's Bar and Restaurant. For over 83 years, the Circle Liquor Store has offered the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits in South Jersey. It's a stone's throw away from Ocean City. It's a landmark. With a friendly staff, it's no wonder why Circle Liquors was named Best of Philly, Best of Atlantic City, with the most competitive prices around. The Circle Liquor Store is now proud sponsor of the second hour of the Locker Room with Billy Schwein. Throwing a party, preparing for today's game? Let Chet and his staff make sure you have everything you need. Check out the website at circleliquors.com or give them a call at 609-927-2921. They deliver. Now, I want to tell you about Lascala's Beach House. Boy, do we love it down there at Lascala's. We're having a great time with our Eagles pregame show, and last week, Vince Papali was down there. Come on down. It opened last summer to rave reviews. It's your home away from home for a large selection of Italian, American, and seafood favorites, just like your grandmom used to make. Plus, you'll love their famous pizza, their daily specials, and their game day menu. Eat in or take out at Lascala's. They're located at 1400 Ocean Avenue in Brigantine. That's LaScalasBeachHouse.com. Let's eat. All right, when we return, we'll talk with the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein, Dave Klemic, Danny Ryan, right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small. Can't wake up without it. Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Booking Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Train presents The Unstoppables. Those captains of comfort, those gargantuans of the guarantee, those satisfaction savants who persevere perilously beyond probability as the raconteurs of reliability. Here's to Train's heralded heroes of heating and air conditioning, those comfort kings with a tireless tenacity for total turnaround. The Train Comfort Specialists. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Hi, this is Joe Lenigan, owner of Lenigan Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call us today for your free train system quote at 609-399-1200 or online at ocnjplumber.com. And please don't forget to ask for the military and senior discount.
Rendezvous Pizza, Rendezvous Pizza, the pizza you're gonna love. It's got the freshest taste that you'll find any place. Rendezvous Pizza, there's one right nearby. Rendezvous Pizza, Rendezvous Pizza. It's a pizza like you never had before. Eat it or take it home, no matter where you roam. Rendezvous Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Rendezvous Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Why would you call anyone else besides Randazzo's Pizzeria and Family Restaurant, 34th and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Open year-round, 7 days a week, offering free delivery on the whole island and to the beach. Pizza, pasta, salads, entrees, subs, paninis, and wraps. Voted best of the shore. Call 814-1600. 814-1600.
Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Rendezvous Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Every year, hundreds of children suffer from unintentional injuries or death due to unsecured guns. Camden County and Moms Demand Action South Jersey are asking for your help to reduce gun violence by spreading the Be Smart message.
Store guns unloaded, locked, and separate from ammunition. And talk to other parents about secure gun storage.
It's up to us to prevent these tragedies and save lives. Visit CamdenCounty.com/BeSmart to learn how we can stop gun accidents and deaths together.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Make a selection from our seasonal food menu, then unwind with one of our sensational cocktails. The South Philly Sizzle, made with Bird Gang Habanero Tequila. Stateside Pumpkin Pie featuring stateside vodka, rum chata, and pumpkin puree. Delicious fiery sangria. Tasty spiced apple punch, or the Campfire Mule at participating locations for a limited time. The official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. We're teaming up with Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown for a new wing flavor this football season. A.J. Brown's Sweet Heat Wings. We combine the sweet and spicy flavors AJ loves, plus a portion of the proceeds benefit the AJ Brown Foundation and its focus on empowering underprivileged youth. At participating locations for a limited time, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
On the road to victory. All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Dave Klemic, Mainland product, and co-host, producer Danny Ryan. We're having fun talking Eagles football. We're getting ready for a big win against the Jags today, 4:05 kickoff. You can catch all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN.com. Mike and Merle with the call. But now it's time for my fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, brought to you by Charlie's Bar and Restaurant in Summers Point, serving lunch, dinner, and spirits. Watch all the big games while enjoying their famous wings. Check out the full menu at charliesbar.com. Call for takeout, 609-927-FOOD, 609-927-3663. Meet your friends at Charlie's Bar at the shore since 44, celebrating their 80th anniversary. That's the Charlie's Bar. And, of course, Nikki Earnshaw and I had lunch down there. I did salad wedge where they put the chicken in. It's the best salad wedge anywhere I'll put up against anybody.
So you guys see my picture on the wall?
Not
over
yet.
there?
Jimmy Thomas is waiting for your jersey.
Yeah, look at look at my picture, my high school picture of me with braces at 150 pounds.
I
Go
gotta see
check me
that
out.
one. All right, let's go to the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room my fantasy football guru and yours, Brian Hartley. Good morning, Guru.
Good morning, guys. How we doing today?
All right, we're in the studio today, Brian, and I know you text me, but next week we'll be at La Scala's for our Eagles pregame show, Eagles-Cowboys, November 10th at La Scala's. Going to be a big weekend.
One of these days, we're going to make an in-person appearance, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh, you got to come down, Brian.
You got to come down, Brian.
By the way, can I ask him a question about? Hey, what's it like not having Gillian's down there in Ocean City? Is that weird?
Well, I mean, it's, the end of the season, so everybody's shut down for the season, and so we really won't see that impact until spring next year. But, yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be different. I don't think it's a good thing for Ocean City in general. Everybody's used to having two places to go to and kind of bouncing around, and there's a lot of history there. So a lot of good memories people had from Ocean City going there, and definitely going to be an odd year next year, but there's not a whole lot we can do about it, so we'll make the best of it and see what we can do. And we got some new things in store for the people for next spring at Castaway Cove, and we're excited about that.
Brian, do I still have my position as the parking lot manager?
Yes, you are now fifth string parking lot.
I'm the fifth string. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we only have 4 employees. But, you are fifth string. First man off the practice squad.
Yeah.
Listen, if it wasn't for me, I run a tight ship in that parking lot. I don't mess around.
Oh, yeah. Find that hard to believe. You don't mess around.
Yeah. Chris and Fran would probably say differently.
Yeah.
Hey, but look, those two guys, they don't
One for
pay
you,
attention.
one for me.
They don't pay
One for Castaway, one for me.
They don't pay attention to detail, man. I back all the cars in. I make sure people do it my way, or they're not parking.
Didn't you meet Brian for messing around at Playland? Come on. Come on.
You and our man Edgar give me a run for my money.
Yeah. Brian gave my brother a job as the tram car guy, and my brother would the train, right? And he would. My brother had this really deep voice, it's like as a kid,
right.
We don't understand how he could do it. We'd watch him walk around going, "Watch the train, and he'd go, "Watch the train." And
the Klemics are a different breed. If anybody. The entire Klemic family. It's I can't even imagine what Thanksgiving must be like. Your mother must want to go crazy.
Competitive, very,
I've never
very
met
competitive.
any of your brothers yet, so
yeah, they're fun.
Okay, all right, Guru. It's week 9 in the NFL, and I got to tell you, man, I'm looking at my roster. I got 4 guys on the IR.
Yeah, it has been a long season for that, and there's a lot of guys this week, out again, and. It's difficult because you got the bye weeks right now that everybody's going through, and it's not been an easy season. A lot of big name players that have
ready for
time.
this, Brian. Ready for this? Ayuk IR, Rashid Shaheed IR, Pacheco, IR. Thielen, IR. Half my roster's IR.
Well, why is Ayuk still on your roster? He's out for the season. You got to drop him.
Because I can't figure out how to do it.
Oh, God.
There's the typical Billy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on.
He's out for the whole year?
Yeah, I believe he tore his ACL.
Who else are we going to get? Big? I mean, there's
So
nobody.
with Rashid Shaheed, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Billy, I don't even know what to do with you anymore. I can't even offer.
At least you're getting Pacheco back in late November.
You're going to have to show me how to delete these guys.
Yeah, I'll show you after the show.
I tried to delete him. I couldn't delete him yesterday.
I lost to this guy. I can't believe I lost to this guy. Come on.
I'm 4-4. I got Mr. Negadelphia, and he's kicking my butt already.
The guy's running a show here, and he can't even figure out how to delete his fantasy
That's what I'm
football
saying.
guys. This is really got to question. I really got to question what's going on over there in the studio.
Here's so Dave just made a comment that he sets his roster, set it and forget it, and then he made an excuse that we're the only two people in this league that has kids. Brian Hartley, the guru, he's got 4 or 5 kids. He lives in a shoe, and he has so many kids he doesn't know what to do, and he's the guru.
I wasn't including him on it. I don't think he's in our.
What do you got? 5 kids, bro? How many children do you have? 4?
4 kids, and none of them are on the IR right now.
Yeah, so it seems like it's every year. You ultimately couple teams, a lot of guys going out on injury on the IR. You have to scramble.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to be all over the waiver wire. I mean, you got a lot of big name guys out, even if they're not on the IR. Guys like Mike Evans missing, kind of week to week here, going to miss his second week in a row. I mean, there are a lot of guys. Nico Collins hopefully coming back next week. Chris Olave came back next week, but Derek Carr back this week. A lot of guys with fantasy value that, it's difficult too because, some leagues have an IR spot that you can move a guy into and pick another player up. Other leagues, you have to decide whether you have to drop the guy or not. And when you get to these bye weeks and you've got 1 or 2 other guys on a bye and you've got that guy who's not playing for a couple of weeks, it makes it really, really difficult to decide what to do. And there's just certain guys you got to hang on to. I mean, I've seen some guys I've played against this year that have gone basically down a roster player for a week because they don't want to give up a guy because if you're at the top of the standings or the middle, you're not getting him back if you drop him once it goes through.
Yeah, like for instance, I got Dallas Goedert. It's 3-4 weeks now, and I'm not going to get rid of him because there's no tight ends that if he comes back healthy, his projection is going to be a lot more than anybody else they have on the waiver wire or that's left.
That's very possible, but it's just like what you just said. If he comes back healthy, how long is that going to be? There's all things that you have to take into account. How long is it going to be? Who are the guys that you have in right now? And, maybe you got to take a week-to-week approach, but it's definitely not easy. It's something you have to be all over all week, and you just got to keep watching. And, the worst part is anymore in the NFL, it seems like we get less and less information regarding these injuries, these guys. Like last week, I had Rico Dowdle I had in my lineup, and all of a sudden, they play in the night game, and 3 hours before the game, he's ruled out with some illness that nobody heard anything about prior to the game. And, I had to basically eat a roster spot. There was nothing else I could do because all the other guys played at 1 and 4. So I kind of got the back end of that one, and it really sucked. And really, it did affect my team. And probably if I would have had a decent game from him, probably would end up winning, but I lost.
We're talking with the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, as we do each and every Sunday throughout the football season. We get his picks. Do you have a question for Mr. Hartley there, Danny?
I do have a question for Mr. Hartley. Now, I have Brian Robinson in 3 out of my 5 leagues, and he was just ruled out last minute after a unsuccessful and just clunky pregame workout did not look right. So my options to replace him on the one league I'm in, Rico Dowdle against Atlanta or Bucky Irving against Kansas City. I know Bucky is questionable, so that's kind of up in the air right now, but he is expected to play. Who would you go with to replace Brian Robinson?
I'd have to go with Dowdle. Irving is banged up, so it does question what you're going to do. Rashad White really has been the guy that's kind of stepped in there. He's gotten some of the carries since he's come back, but he's also been the guy that's been getting the receptions. Mm-hmm. And with all those wide receivers out, it seems like he's been getting a little more time in there because he gives them another kind of wide receiver threat out of that backfield. Kansas City has been really stout this year on defense, and they don't give it up. And I think for Tampa to stay in that game, I think they're going to have to throw the ball. So I think you see a little more Rashad White in there. Even if Irving does go, he may be limited a little bit. So I like Rico Dowdle today, at least to get the heavy dose. Obviously, Zeke Elliott not traveling with the team after missing a couple team meetings. So I think he sees more action today, and you can lean a little heavier on him.
That's who I was leaning on, but I'm definitely going to lock him into my lineup now after you said that. And then in the 97.3 ESPN league, I had Brian Robinson as well. He's out, so I have to choose between Tank Bigsby, who's been banged up all week. Him and Etienne are expected to suit up, but against what's looking like a tough Eagles defense, I don't know if I should play him. Or do I go with Zach Charbonnet against the Rams? I mean, obviously he's the second back in that offense. Kenneth Walker's a monster. Which one would you go with?
Yeah, that's a tough call. I'd probably have to go with Bigsby just because I think he'll get more action than Charbonnet was, and you're going to have to hope that maybe he gets a short yardage touchdown. He has been the guy with short yardage. I had ATN earlier in the season. Actually dropped him.
So bad.
Just couldn't take it anymore. He's been absolutely horrible.
They need to trade him. The Cowboys, the Chiefs, somebody has to go get ETN.
Yeah, I really don't understand what's going on with him this year. Even when given the opportunities, he just hasn't been able to produce. Bigsby's just looked like the better back, regardless of the injury. Bigsby has earned that role. So not really sure what to make of it, but he definitely could be a candidate for trade. This trade deadline coming up Tuesday, and we'll see what happens.
All right, Brian Hartley, now it's time for your picks for Week 9 in the NFL.
All right, at quarterback, I like Matthew Stafford going against Seattle, Kirk Cousins against Dallas. And believe it or not, I'm going with my boy Bo Nix against Baltimore.
Bo
Nix. Going to have to score some points this week. So fantasy value-wise, I like him this week. I think they're going to have to throw the ball. He gives you that option of running the ball, so I like him fantasy point-wise this week. At running back, I like DeAndre Swift against Arizona. And I like Tyrone Tracy Jr. going against Washington. And Chris Brown against the Las Vegas Raiders. At wide receiver, Chris Olave had a ton of targets last week. I like with Derek Carr coming back. I like him big time against Carolina today. I think he gets in the touchdown zone there in the end zone at least once. Darrell Mooney going against Dallas. Jacoby Myers, who's now the guy in Las Vegas. I like him going up against Cincy today. I think he gets a lot of targets. And Cade Otton, he's another guy like we talked about. You know, Tampa's going to have to throw the ball. He's been a nice little security blanket there for Baker Mayfield going against Kansas City. So I look for him to continue. He's that guy down in the red zone that gets those touchdown catches, and he's been getting a lot of targets with Evans and Godwin out. So those are my picks for Week 9 of the NFL season.
All right, fantasy football guru Brian Hartley, you're going to the game today?
I am not. I've got a soccer game today. I'm going to 1:15. We talked about it, and it just wasn't enough time. We figured with traffic we'd probably be getting there mid-second quarter, so we gave up on it.
All right, let's get your pick for the Eagles versus the Jaguars.
Now, I just want you to know I got a lot of chatter, a lot of my followers in the 3rd and 4th grade level at the Halloween party the other day at school were ribbing me about how I didn't pick the Eagles last week. And then they were encouraging me not to pick the Eagles again because they won after I didn't pick them. So the two times that I went against them, they won. So now I got all these 3rd graders giving me a hard time.
They think you're hexing the Eagles.
Bullied
Okay.
about it, heckling me, you know. But I'm going with the Eagles 30 and the Jags 13 today.
30-13 from the guru, Brian Hartley. As always, Brian, we thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
All right, there he is, the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, brought to you by Charlie's Bar and Restaurant in Summers Point. Serving lunch, dinner, and spirits. Watch all the big games while enjoying their famous wings. Check out the full menu at charliesbar.com. Call for takeout at 609-927-FOOD. That's 609-927-3663. Meet your friends at Charlie's Bar at the Shore Sits 44. Celebrating their 80th anniversary, Dave Klemic. Is that amazing?
Not easy.
No.
In the restaurant business,
Yeah.
it's an iconic place for mainland whole community.
Right.
They donated the lights in
Yeah.
1995. The first time that mainland has ever played under the lights was in 1995. My first game of my senior year.
Is that right?
Wow.
We had a running back sweep left. First play of the game, 70 yards for a touchdown.
I remember
Tony DeSalle.
Al
Never
Bundy.
forget it. And everybody came to the Charlie's after the game.
Yeah.
And it's been going on like that since 1995. Everyone goes to Charlie's after the game.
It's
that's
'cause-
awesome.
But you know what, Danny? It's because of the food. Let's face it.
And the tradition, too.
The
It's
tradition.
become a
but
tradition.
the food. If you have great food, the people are going to come.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's a landmark.
Yeah.
And the Thomases are the most generous
Yeah, why is
family.
Jimmy Thomas always breaking your stones, man?
That was one of my best friends growing up. We used to go in his boats as a kid. He had a boat when we were like 10 years old. We were driving around a
He
boat.
said he's looking forward to your. He wants your shirt, your jersey.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it for him this week.
All right.
Bill, you got to find a way to get them to name that salad wedge after you, the way you endorsed it on this show.
The Schweim salad wedge.
That's got a good ring to
How
it. I'm
about
not gonna lie.
The locker room wedge.
I think the Schweim salad. The Schweim salad.
Jimmy Thomas was a running back, as a very good running back.
Was he really?
We used to call him the frog stance. He'd go right to his butt. Like he'd 3-point stance, but butt to his ankles, and then run out of that stance.
How about Jeff? Was he a player? Did he play?
Jeff was.
Jimmy was a better football player?
Jimmy was a better football. Jimmy was really fast.
Okay.
Jimmy was really fast.
All right. For over 83 years, the Circle Liquor Store has offered the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits in South Jersey. It's a stone's throw away from Ocean City. It's a landmark. With a friendly staff, it's no wonder why Circle Liquors was named Best of Philly, Best of Atlantic City, with the most competitive prices around. The Circle Liquor Store is now a proud sponsor of the second hour of the Locker Room with Billy Schweim. Throwing a party, preparing for the big game? Let Chet and his staff make sure you have everything you need. Check out the website at circleliquors.com or give them a call at 609-927-2921. They deliver. Ask for Will, Jason, Chet. They're all down there. Say hello, Billy. It's a great place. All right, just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine that is run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of the private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap it up. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Dave Klemic, Danny Ryan, right here on 97.3 ESPN.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles host the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 9 of the 2024 season later today.
And he's brought down for a loss by the Gene. And the Eagles take over on down.
Listen to all the action with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick with pregame coverage starting at 3 p.m. and kickoff at 4 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles, 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Service in Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson & Sons for electrical. They're number one.
Hi, this is ex-Philadelphia Eagles tight end Ken Dunnick, and I'm the current publisher of Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, and I'm asking you to become a Camden County police officer and help make our city a better place to live. The Camden County Police Department is now hiring for sworn officers who are going to make a difference in our community. The first year's salary for the position is $51,000. So join the effort today to be part of something bigger than yourself. Visit CamdenCountyPD.org to apply online. That's CamdenCountyPD.org. Thank you.
Common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Time of year for killer deals. You've had your eye on some hot new wheels. We want to pay off your loan or lease and tell your old car to rust in peace.
Get to Matt Black Kia today. Buried in a loan or lease? Matt Black Kia wants to get you released and treat yourself to 0 down, 0 payments until next year, even 0% after 72 months on every clearly marked new Matt Black Kia in stock. You won't need a costume to get a brand new Matt Black Kia Forte LXS under 20 grand. That's right, a brand new Kia, just $19,999 with any trade. That's less than most used vehicles.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
With approved credit 24 EV9 and 6, $13.88 per thousand. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to MattBlattKiaNJ.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. Through KMF. Rebates and incentives to deal. Expires 10/31/24. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, Danny Ryan, Dave Klemic. Want to remind people that on the Tropicana Atlantic City Boxing Insider Promotions, they're bringing their card back to the Tropicana November 16th. Tickets are on sale at the Ticketmaster. There's no place like AC, like the showroom, the Tropicana showroom, to watch live boxing. Yes, Eagles! Get down to the Tropicana. Figueroa is boxing. Justin Figueroa, we had him
Mr.
in the studio.
AC.
Yeah, and also Bruce Selden Jr. He's 3-0. So get down there to Ticketmaster, or go to Ticketmaster, or go to the Tropicana box office. All right, let's get our picks for the Eagles Jaguars. I'm gonna start with you, Dave Klemic.
I got him. All right, two predictions.
What do you feel?
Remember
this
one. 10 points in the first quarter.
Ooh, all
right.
right.
10
Wow,
points. We're
10
coming out with
points.
momentum, and it's going to be 34-17 Eagle victory.
34-17.
But the big prediction is 10 points in the first quarter.
Wow.
We just got a text message from our good buddy, my agent at the beach, Mark Grimes.
Grimesy.
He says 31-17. Mark, let me write him down. Mark Grimes, 31. Eagles, 31-17. What say you, Danny Ryan?
I'm going to go Eagles 41. I think they have a big offensive game today. I think they put it out there on the field. # show up for Shady.
Show up for Shady.
And I think they beat them 41. Wow. I'm going to go 41 to 16. 41 to 16. A little scoregami.
41-16. All right. You know, Baldy said the Eagles are going to win yesterday. Grayson's got them winning. Dave Klemic, guy's played in the NFL. He knows what he's talking about. You like him to a blowout. I would say it's a blowout.
Yeah, domination. I think they're going to dominate them today.
I'm
I was worried it was a trap game, but that team is just so banged up, and Brian Thomas Jr. is active,
you know what they
but he's
say
got
about
a beat
you know
up
what they
chest.
say about a wounded dog? Watch out for the wounded dog. Right,
Yeah,
Dave?
I don't know.
I didn't know that saying.
Yeah.
Watch out for
I like my chances against a wounded dog. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm going to say the Eagles win this game, but it's going to be close.
Really?
Yeah. Are
we getting too confident?
No, yeah, you guys are getting too confident.
You didn't think this was a trap game, and now you're calling it a close victory.
I don't think it's a trap game. I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a wounded dog, a wounded animal. You got to watch out.
You think Dougie P pulls out all his
I think
weapons,
he pulls
all
out
his
all the
strategy
stuff.
today?
The Eagles overcome that, and they win the game 28 to 20. 28 to 20.
I'm not as close. I thought you were going to say like 28, 24, 20,
Nah,
25.
28 to 20.
That's not terrible.
Only because the game will be a lot closer.
They're just leaps and bounds better than the Jaguars roster. They are, and they need to take care of business.
Wow, it's over already.
That last 10 minutes went in a snap.
Dave, passes 2 hours in radio, would you say?
Always.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Always.
Great show today.
You missed a great time last night.
I
Danny
know.
Ryan.
I told you, though, next time I'm there. Hold me to
He's
it.
on probation.
I'll have to, even if I have another housewarming party.
There's a trend going on with him. When Debbie Mavilla came in here
Oh,
to
give me
do
a break.
sit-ups, you chickened out there. The
Didn't chicken
locker
out.
room.
The
The
alarm.
locker room. He overslept and missed it all.
The alarm didn't go off, Billy. I was excited. You know what I did? And I came in here and I did, 25 push-ups for my over-under at 23, and I made you eat crow. So how about that, buddy?
I want to thank Dave Klemic, Danny Ryan, Scott Grayson, the guru Brian Hartley. Thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with this Schweiner. Let's go, Eagles, and I'll see you next week right here on 97.3 ESPN.
The preceding program was paid for by The Locker Room with Billy Schwein.
Fans of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, it's time to get ready for this year's biggest party.